For years, I waited impatiently to get my first phone. I remember going into middle school and it seemed like every single day a new kid would come in with a new phone. And I was puzzled why this couldn't be a reality for me. But my parents had a rule. I wasn't allowed to get my first phone until I was 13 years old. You're not allowed to get a phone until you're ready. This concept seemed completely foreign to me. I felt like I was ready and most of my friends were getting their phone at this time too. I actually felt like I was behind the rest of my social group just because I didn't have a phone. But what I didn't know is that the delayed action in getting me a phone actually put me at an advantage compared to the rest of my peers. As technology is advancing, we're seeing the trend that children are getting phones earlier on in life. But what people don't know is that while handing your child a screen, you're heightening the risk for too much exposure to cruel topics. And then those cruel topics become realities and possible variables in your child's life. According to the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, experts found that sleep problems, lower grades, mood shifts, and lack of activity all strongly connect to screen time usage and abuse of it. Advances in technology is absolutely crazy right now. Technology is rapidly growing, but as it rapidly grows, we need to start learning how to adjust better. And according to the Pfizer Foundation, adults are actually struggling just as much as kids with screen time over usage. And adults are averaging around 11 hours a day on screens. That is insane, setting terrible examples for our future generations. And according to Common Sense Media, around half of American kids 8 years and older have at least their own device and they're spending at least 2 hours a day on it. Because of these examples that our adults are setting for us, causing us to be trapped into this endless cycle and this endless loop that puts society at a huge risk and downfall. Limiting screen time benefits our generations by creating well-rounded individuals and not suppressing any potentials. As individuals, we need to start holding ourselves accountable to the amount of screen time we spend. The amount of screen time we spend on our screens is setting the example for our future generations. And experts suggest that between 0 and 24 months, we should limit screen time to none at all, unless it is strictly educational or we are trying to stay connected with loved ones. But even then, we need to make sure it is super limited. And as your child is growing up, it is suggested by the American Academy of Child Psychiatry that we limit and set super strict restrictions because anyone can help the suppression that comes with too much screen time. Screen time can be detrimental, and one reason being is children can become exposed to too much too soon. A child's innocence. It's something that makes the world seem bigger and brighter and happier and more fun, and it's a huge component in your child's childhood. And allowing them to have a screen can rip that away from them, ripping away a chunk of their childhood that is irreplaceable. Yes, screens do have their advantages. They can help you stay connected. They can help you be educated. But is it really worth putting your child's childhood on the line? Unsafe behavior, violence, predators, sexual content, they all become variables in your child's life as soon as you're handing them the screen. An easy way around this is to set restrictions. But restrictions are touchy and not guaranteed. A couple wrong clicks and boom, the internet is at your child's fingertips. So exposure plays a really big role in screen time usage, but another super big thing is your child can become addicted and obsessed to their screens. Without limits on screen time, your child will get addicted and obsessed. According to neuroassociates at neurohealth.com, your child's brain is susceptible to significant changes in structure and connectivity which can stunt neural development and cause things like screen dependency disorders. So this means that by not limiting your child's screen time, you are altering their physical brain. Their brain is changing, and that is on you for not setting limits. And no, maybe not all children will suffer the physical effects of this, but addiction can be an emotional aspect too. When your child becomes addicted, their mood will shift drastically, just depending on how much screen time they get or what they want to do with their screen at that time. Screen addiction is physically and emotionally harmful for your child. Therefore, by not setting screen time limits, you are setting your child up for failure and putting them and society at a greater risk. Another harmful effect of screen time is the obvious: the mental and physical harms. Unhealthy sleep patterns, weight issues, both huge topics in America especially, and they're both strongly linked to screen time abusage. And according to screensandtrials.org, the time that you give your child the phone actually matters. So if you give your child a phone or a device at 9 o'clock and their bedtime is 9:30, their brain activity will be heightened, causing sleep problems. And that can lead to even greater and more serious damages within your child. And a lot of studies have shown that screen and media exposure heighten your child's chances at becoming an obese because of the amount of intakes while on the screen. And children might not suffer all these changes physically, but the mental damages are astronomical. Media and children, they do not mix. We have found thousands of times the media is full of negativity. It's full of negative thought processes. And exposing your child so early to negative thought processes can be detrimental. It can cause a negative mindset in a mind so young, a mind that needs to be shaped with positivity. And can lead to things like eating disorders and mental illnesses. And those are things that cannot be easily overcome, especially at such a young age. And this means that you are placing that upon them when you are not setting limits. Society takes screen time so lightly, but as individuals, we need to not be careless when it comes to this topic. Picture a future where children and teens and adults live without the pressure of screens and negativity and media weighing in. Taking screen time lightly strips away this possibility. We need to look at it as the issue that it has been proven to be and stop brushing it off so lightly. Because all we need is the desire to change and the discipline to pull it off. When we're limiting screen time, we're benefiting our future generations by creating less harmful environments. Innocence wouldn't be taken away so early, and children wouldn't become addicted and obsessed to their screens. Physical and mental well-being will become 10 times more healthy. Getting a phone at 13, I thought, was pointless. I was just confused, and it seemed cruel and unusual why I couldn't get a phone but everyone else could. But what I didn't know is that I would be so thankful for the delayed reaction in getting me a phone. Because I'm sure I complained and I tortured my parents. I did everything in my power just to get a phone at the time that I want, but I didn't know the dangers that it came with. I was blinded by my wants. Don't be like a child who is blinded by what they want. Become educated and better our future.